Look what a pretty color that fish is.
It's just as bright as it can be, and look at the lateral line.
Ooh. All right. I was cranking that fish through the milfoil, JB. That bait that time through the milfoil, and I stopped and jerked the bait about 2 times. When I started cranking again, he just nailed that thing.
Caught several, stopping to retrieve. Like a bait stop, floats up a little bit, boom, it's all over with. There he is.
Hey, can you tell how big he is?
Oh, that's a big fish.
How do you know? How do you know he ain't down at high driller?
I can feel the way he's pulling now.
Good?
Yeah, I can't stop it.
Oh, get my rod out of the way here.
Run under the boat.
How'd you get?
Orlando, grab that net. The fish is barely hooked.
Oh, man.
No, that's hooked.
Whew. Oh, that's a good fish.
Well, look at the hook. It's ready to pop out right now.
Well, the one that crankbait didn't hurt that, eh? Man, that's a nice fish, JB.
That's fish.
I didn't think it was a big fish. I thought you were...
Now, when he hit, I knew he was.
Barely had him in the corner of the mouth. Look at that.
Yeah.
That is a nice fish, JB. That fish will weigh... Look what a head on that rascal.
Well, he's got an 8-pound head.
Yeah. He's already spawned out. That fish would weigh 8 pounds if he wasn't spawned out. What, he weighed 6.5?
Yeah, he weighed 6.5, something like that.
Whew. All right. Way to go, JB.
Want to go fishing with Orlando. Fishing with Orlando angler Cliff Craft will be fishing weed lines in a small Florida lake, and they'll be bulging spinnerbaits. That is, running the spinnerbaits fast just beneath the surface of the water. A technique that should work well on Florida largemouth bass.
This is a full-size Chevy. That's a full-sized Ford. That Ford's got a 6. This Chevy is equipped with a V8. But did you know that Ford 6 is priced $147 more than this Chevy with a V8? So ask yourself, would you rather have the Ford or the Chevy? Simple. Unless you don't care about money.
Get low 6.9 financing on all new full-size Chevy pickups. Length of finance contract is limited.
This is the place where the work gets done. Work that's the measure of a man. This is the home of America's best. This is the home of America's best. This is Red Man Land. Red Man Land. Red Man Land.
This can make or break a spinning reel. One line stripping bonefish, one explosive largemouth. An ordinary drags can be dead in the water. Not Quantum. Quantum's new Magnum drag system has 6 times more drag surface than ordinary drags. It won't chatter, fade, or freeze up. Simply put, it's more range, more control, more fish. Quantum. Quality backed by a lifetime warranty. Quantum. The choice of serious fishermen.
The future of fishing has arrived. DuPont introduces Prime Co-Filament, a whole new fishing line technology. Prime is 2 lines in 1, a tough, flexible nylon sheet, and a strong polyester core for half the stretch of ordinary line. Less stretch for a line so sensitive, you feel fish you didn't even know were there. With Prime, you set the hook faster with 3 times the hook setting power. Co-Filament Prime, only from DuPont.
You know, we got a definite milfoil edge that you can see from the camera shot down here, but you know, you've got milfoil on out in here in certain areas that's just under the surface of the water that you can't see.
In this lake, Orlando, don't we have milfoil out in the lake and then hydrilla up around the bank, and or a mixture of grasses?
Yeah, we got a little bit of all kind of grass in here, really. Hydrilla and milfoil and coontail moss.
Just fish habitat.
Yeah, just fish habitat. And you know, people watch these shows and they get a little bit concerned. You know, most of the shows we do, we give you an area or a location where we're fishing, but it really doesn't make that much difference. The same techniques that we use in practically any of our show will work in any part of the country as long as the lake is similar. And of course, this technique, I'm bulging a spinnerbait. There's one. I'm bulging a spinnerbait, and Cliff is using a top water lure. That's a little better fish.
Nice little bass.
Is using a top water buzz bait, and you don't really have to have grass to catch them that way.
You know, with a
Now, look at that, I
spinnerbait
just barely had him hooked too.
a spinnerbait or a buzz bait is synonymous with grass-type fishing. Nice little bass. We find this grass fishing all the way in the lowland marshes and reservoirs and natural lakes all the way up from Florida to New England and all over the U.S., as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And everywhere you find grass in places that's got bass, you're going to catch some using some type of technique. And the way we're fishing today is one of the two most effective ones, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
think so,
especially,
Lando?
when I think you got, warm water period, or starting of the warm water period. It seems like in most parts of the country, beginning the 1st of June, the water temperature, is warmed up to the middle 70s. And those fish just look up a lot of the time. And they'll take top water baits. And as the water begins to warm, into the high 70s, I feel like they maybe pull out into deeper water, and then you need to move out on your deeper structure. But I think the beginning of June in most of the southeast and a lot of the Midwest and even the north, the fish really start hitting top water pretty well. There's another one. Now those fish are all getting that bait way out off of the milfoil.
Right.
I tell you what, I would have sworn that fish weighed 3 or 4 pounds the way he got that thing.
He
Oh,
did
little
good.
bitty fish.
He did good.
Tell you what, I think the spinnerbait's working a little better than the buzzbait,
I'm
too.
telling you, you told me I wasn't going to catch many today. And
No, I didn't say that.
I'm beginning to think you're out fishing here today so far. I'm hoping, though, that I'll catch a big one
maybe
here.
the deal is, see, I'm just bulging that spinnerbait underwater, and I guess what you're talking about when you talk about bulging is you're just making the spinnerbait, you're pulling it fast enough to keep it just a couple of inches under the surface, enough to make the water make a V as it comes back to you. There's one broke right back there. And the blade really is not cutting the top of the water like a buzz bait. But many times, maybe that's just a better deal. Maybe they just prefer that. But I tell you, you fish long enough to know that it really doesn't make a lot of difference. I mean, you don't have to do a lot different to be effective and not effective. I mean, you can just change your style or technique just the slightest amount and start catching fish whereby you could spend the whole day and catch nothing. I mean, just the difference in the speed of retrieve could make all the difference in the world.
Or in the bait you're using, in this case right here. Right
Yeah.
now.
I mean, even though we're practically doing the same thing, the fish are looking up, they seem to be taking this spinnerbait, at least this morning, a little better than they are the buzz bait.
Orlando, this morning here, we're catching, you're running that spinnerbait real fast, and spinnerbaits, especially single blades like you're using, it's kind of synonymous with slow rolling a spinnerbait, pulling it over limbs and over grass, letting it fall. Why do you think that they're hitting that spinnerbait running real fast? Are you getting a reaction bite, you think, maybe, or are they
I
actually
don't know.
feeding?
I think they just look up and see that water bulging, and I guess maybe they're feeding on bait this morning, and they're down in that milfoil, maybe suspended in the milfoil, and, it's coming by so fast, they just got one chance to get it. It don't take time to really think about it. I guess probably that would be what it is, just catching just more or less out of reflex.
I bet if you throw it that log moving down yonder,
Yeah.
you
Big
might
alligator,
get a big bite.
I tell you what, I've caught alligators on plastic worms.
Well, now,
They ain't a lot of fun to get off the hook.
now tell the truth. You might have hooked a couple of gators. Now,
I
how
ain't
many
caught
have you
a lot
landed?
of them. I ain't caught. I tell you what, I hung one time. We were fishing down on Lake Dora in Florida on the Harris chain of lakes.
Uh-huh.
And I hung on a plastic worm an alligator that was 16 feet long. Of course, I went ahead and broke the line.
Something had to give, right? Something had to have some release.
Well, you know, I thought I was hung on a snag or something. I started pulling real hard. I felt it jerk. And he just came to the top of the water and looked at me. And I immediately took my pocket knife and cut the line. You know, a lot of it could be too, Cliff. You know, I'm getting the first shot at a lot of this stuff, and these could just be active fish I'm catching. You know, fishing from a boat has a lot to do with it sometimes. I guess, to be fair about it, I should let you cast occasionally. And
Right.
We'll start that in a few minutes.
Well, this is fishing with Orlando. It's not fishing with Cliff.
Yeah, in a few minutes, I'm going to let you start making a few casts up front.
Okay.
In a few minutes.
Well, I'm having a great time because where we're fishing here looks like a good place to catch a real big bass. And maybe I'll have a chance, especially with this buzz bait. It's kind of synonymous with big fish anyway.
You see that roll at mine right there? It's kind
I'm
of
afraid
deep.
I did.
He didn't come up.
I hadn't seen that and happen to my bait too much.
Looks like he come within a foot of the surface and turned around and went back down. He didn't even come close to getting the bait. It seems like, you know, even fishing grass lines, you need to basically look for the same thing in a grass line. If you look at a grass line and look at the exposed grass, it'll pretty much tell you about the contour of the bottom, because, you know, most of the time you're going to find the edge of that grass line is going to be, say this grass line runs out into 5 feet of water, the grass above the water, you're going to see that 5-foot contour all the way around the lake. So when you see a point running out like that, I mean, the grass line is going to indicate that there's actually land structure under there that's running out too, or a point.
Right.
And I think you find these key areas, you can find little cuts that go back in the grass line, which would indicate maybe a little ditch. And so if you'll focus most of the casts on what appears to be structure underneath, I think you can catch a lot more fish. Of course, I'm telling you that knowing that you know it.
Well, I was thinking the same thing, Orlando, looking down this straight bank here, what looks like a straight bank. There's all kind of little irregularities down through here. You got little mini pockets, little mini points, and then out in front of us here,
You got
we
a
got
major
large
deal, huh?
point. Yeah, a big deal. But all these places are great for just one bass or maybe 2 or 3 bass, and then when you get to a big point like that, that's synonymous with those schools of fish that we occasionally catch and read about.
Call now 1-800-257-1234 to receive the catfish kit the pros use. With your tube baits and lures, you'll squeeze excitement and fun into your next fishing trip. Call now and receive a large tube of original blood bait and reusable lure. Also a tube of our new shrimp bait and shrimp lure, along with 1 tube of our new crawdad bait and crawdad lure. They look, feel, and taste real. Call 1-800-257-1234 now and receive our new bright glowing night bobber. You'll see every strike. No batteries needed. Supplies are limited. Call 1-800-257-1234 now. Pay just $14.95 for all this. Use Visa, MasterCard, check, or money order and save COD charges. Call 1-800-257-1234 and join the pros.
Here's a fishing story everybody knows. It's about the big one that got away because the mosquitoes were biting faster than the fish. But if you use Cutter insect repellent, that's another story. Because Cutter was made for the tough outdoor mosquito conditions that we all know. There's Cutter sprays and cream for camping and hiking, and handy sticks to get the insect repellent on you instead of on your gear. And it fits right here in your tackle box. Cutter insect repellent. Remember, you're waiting for a bite. The mosquitoes are waiting for you.
I love it out here. If you do a lot of hunting and fishing like I do, you know how important it is to have a great knife along. That's why I travel with an old-timer. An old-timer is made from the finest blade steel. It's perfect for 1,001 jobs. So, if you're headed into the great outdoors, or just spending some quiet time at home, it's good to keep company with a great old-timer. From Schrade.
Orlando, that grass off this little point here is out in the lake, because I can see even without sunglasses
see the little
on
tips of it.
the little places out there, the little dark blotches.
You know, when you're looking at these grass lines. If it's a real well-defined grass line,
Well,
you can
Cliff
just about...
finally caught one. Or
Well,
at least
Cliff has got... Is it a biggie?
it's a pretty good fish, Orlando.
Is it?
Yeah. No, maybe not. But he is a bass fish. I think he gave up. We'll see when he gets a little closer to the boat. It was a full cast out. Ooh, boy.
They're tough, aren't they?
You bet. Right. Yeah, Cliff can catch one. Feels
Good
good.
job, Cliff.
All right. And they beat this little, eat that little chartreuse spinnerbait there. Goodbye, Mr. Bass. That was probably the bass that you just missed. Warmed up for me, right?
Yeah. I heated him up and went back and got him.
You've been a nice host there.
I mean, yeah, I didn't want to catch all of them, Cliff.
I began to wonder.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I was mentioning a minute ago, you look at a grass line, if it's well-defined, you can just about bet that there's some kind of definite drop-off there. You look here, you really don't have, you have a real jagged grass line on this point. You can see little tips of high drill out here, which would indicate to me that the bank is falling off gradually into deeper water.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, you're talking about warm weather fishing. You really should look for the slower falling points. In other words, the points that run out in the lake shallow. Fish seem to feed warmer water on shallower points.
They use that as migration route, you think, coming up out of that deep water?
Yeah, I'd think so. But they tend to hang on the longer points. Now, in cold water, it'd be just the opposite. Your faster falling points seem to be more effective. You know, the ones that drop off quicker, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. And that probably, my experience, that applies not only to lakes that's got grass in it, but timbered reservoirs and even clear.
Yeah, we're talking reservoirs in general. Just about any information, you know, that you can pass along fishing anywhere in the country, you basically do the same thing. You know, you might change the technique up just a little bit to maybe adapt it to certain situations, but basically catching bass is the same anywhere you want to go in this world. If you're an effective bass fisherman, you can catch them anywhere you want to go.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. When they're hitting.
Right. There is no absolutes in bass fishing.
I guarantee you. Well, that's what makes you go back, I guess.
Yeah. I think you might catch one down through there, Orlando.
Oh, boy.
Orlando, I got that little bass right next to the boat here.
Oh, I got one, too.
Have
Look
you?
here.
All right.
I got him on top. Keep coming, keep coming.
Don't you think you can wind him a little faster?
I skied him. Whoa.
That's the big one of the day there.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, he got it good.
Yes, sir.
You know, I wish we could catch a big bass. We hadn't caught anything, you know, 2 and 3 pound bass. Of course, you know, I'm not saying that, I mean, I don't mean to sound like that, but I mean, everybody wants to catch a big fish, right?
Right. When you start catching lots of them, then you want to catch big ones. And we're getting a little bit greedy. We're having a great time.
Man, I tell you, don't really matter whether you catch a big one or not. Any of them are fun to catch, especially when you can see them come up and get the thing. That's the best part of the whole situation.
When we're fishing the lure here, the spinnerbait, run it like this. It doesn't take a lot of skill and expertise to throw it out there and wind it in just right on the surface. And the spinnerbait pretty well does its own thing.
Yeah, we're not having to do any kind of fancy technique or anything, you know, like dropping and bumping against something that would require a lot of manual dexterity. We're just throwing it out there and trying to keep it in sight while we wind it back in.
And hopefully throw it over a hungry bass.
That's right.
Or at least one that's agitated enough to bite. And they're doing a pretty good job.
You know, when you're fishing identifiable things, you know, like we're fishing this grass, the thin grass out in front of the thick grass, it's real easy to identify the areas prior to getting there, which ones you think are going to hold fish. And that's part of the excitement, you know, waiting till you get up close enough where you can cast on.
Well, your anticipation level really goes up to a fever pitch, doesn't it?
Yeah, man.
As your favorite saying goes, the fun meter is pegged right now.
this full-size Chevy and that full-size Ford have V8s. But the Ford is priced $688 more. And when you buy the special work-ready Chevy, they'll throw in $667 worth of options at no extra charge. Well, I figured that's over $1,000 you could give Ford. Or buy this Chevy and keep your money where it belongs.
Get low 6.9 financing on all new full-size Chevy pickups. Length of finance contract is limited.
How's the new home, Mrs. Dixon?
Oh, great, Chauncey. Except for my puny-looking lawn.
Dare say it needs nourishment. And Spectricide's lawn food makes it easy. Just attach the free Spectricide spray to your garden hose.
Easy. No mixing, no mess.
In no time, you'll have a beautiful green lawn.
Oh, Chauncey, you always have all the answers.
Spectricide has all the answers. For a healthier, greener lawn, Spectricide. Most efficacious.
Who's gonna be at the Silver Bullet tonight? Silver Bullet. Sipping on a cold Coors Light. Partying right.
35 wins in a row. The guy never loses.
Never does.
What's the secret?
Loose chili.
Loose chili?
Yep. He never eats it.
Ah. You have any popcorn?
There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
Coors Light beer.
Stay with us Superstation. Next, catch up on all the latest racing news on Motor Week Illustrated. Right here on Superstation WTBS. Next.
Did you catch it, Owen? I believe you have. Hey, that's another nice fish, Orlando. When you're hot, eh?
Man, I'm telling you.
All right.
Oh, boy. Whoa.
Takes nice water on you.
Look at this one.
All right. Well, hurry up and get him in. Maybe I can catch one in a minute.
No, you ain't to have days like that.
Yeah, it makes you humble.
Oh, Lord. I tell you, Cliff, what it is, it's got to be the difference in our spinnerbait.
I'm beginning to think so. If I had one that color, I'd have it on already.
That's a good 4.5 pound fish there.
You bet.
I tell you what, I guess it's just later in the morning, and I've slowed the retrieve down on this thing just a little bit, and maybe the better fish are just up now, I don't know. But what I'm using a 3/8 ounce bush hog with a chartreuse and white skirt, and of course the spinnerbait has a long arm. It had 2 blades on it, and I snipped the front blade off, because I like to use a single spin when I'm bulging, of course. And, but I'm using about what did you say that is? About a number 5 or number 6 Indiana blade, now not a Colorado blade. And that could be making a difference.
Maybe so, Orlando. This is this little 1/4 ounce, and it doesn't seem to be making near as much weight as you are with that number 5 blade. Maybe that has some difference. Anyway,
well, I mean, that's a perfect illustration of what we were talking about earlier. Now, we're both doing the same thing. If somebody told you to come to a lake and fish a spinnerbait, and you just happen to pick up a 1/4 ounce model, just a 1/16 ounce difference in the spinnerbait is making some difference, and a little difference in the blade.
All right. I believe I got a good one now, Orlando. Finally.
Good. Now, I tell you what, I believe the big fish are just biting better.
You think so? Look at there. That's a nice one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
All right. Finally.
All right. That's a good fish. What did he weigh? 5,
5.5, something like that. Finally caught one on my little chartreuse spinnerbait.
That fish don't look like it's spawned, does it?
He's got a fine physique there. Nice little fish.
Good job.
All right.
I don't like that chartreuse spinnerbait, did
Sure did. He bent it up a little bit. Get it back aligned. Go back out there and see if I can catch another one. That fish in there ever hit your bait?
No. Well, I had one strike, but I don't think it was that fish that was running the bait there a second ago. I know we keep talking about fish running the bait. We can't show you on the camera because the time they do it, they've already quit and the camera can't react that quick. But we've been seeing a lot of fish this morning breaking and chasing shad and brim and so forth. And some of them have really been some big bass. And they're all of them right in the edge of this hydrilla. And you can see them just explode. Boom, and the shad and bait and brim and minnows and everything going every direction.
It hadn't occurred too often on my spinnerbait, more often on yours, but I sure had a nice morning, Orlando.
I tell you what, Cliff, This is one of the few times that
He said, I'm sorry, buddy, I can't go. I'm watching the Orlando Wilson Fishing Show.
This is the most widely distributed game fish in North America. Its explosive strike and breathtaking leaps, its wily ways and reputation as a fighter makes the largemouth bass a fitting challenge for thousands of anglers. On today's show, Orlando demonstrates several different techniques to catch largemouth bass, including flipping and casting plastic worms, crankbaits, and spinnerbaits. So whether you call him black bass, bucket mouth, or old line size, Orlando is going to show you a number of ways to help you catch one of America's most challenging game fish. When the water is cold, plastic worms probably catch more bass than any other lure. They come in an amazing variety of colors, shapes, and sizes. One reason plastic worms are so effective is that they can be rigged to fish in weedy and snag-filled water. Orlando demonstrates two popular ways to fish plastic worms, flipping and casting.
you want to fish a worm, one attribute a worm has is it's virtually weedy. It's just not going to hang up. So you can fish that thing in pretty thick cover. Now, bass like cover. It just so happens today the fish are pretty active and they're not real tied in the edge of the bed. They're just moving out loosely along the edge of the vegetation. Now, if we were fishing on a cold front or something, or weather change of some kind, it can put them real tight. They just move real into that old thick reeds and things. You'd need to put your bait right in there to catch them. So that's what a plastic worm, that's its strong suit. You can really fish that thing in thick cover. But today they're kind of along the edges and out off of the edge where it starts to drop off. So what I like to do when I'm fishing the edge, I like to cast right to the edge and leave the bell open and let the bait fall straight down. At the same time, now watch your line, because as the worm falls, you can get a strike. So you watch your line for any kind of movement, little jump, a little jerk, or whatever. If you see that, put the thing in gear, don't check it. Just put it in gear, reel down 2 or 3 turns, and set the hook. Anyway, you let the worm go down right beside the vegetation. If you leave the thing in gear and keep your line tight, it'll fall away from the vegetation. The deeper it goes, you'll just fall on hard. And it could, by the time it gets to the bottom, 6 feet of water, it could be 4 or 5 feet off of the edge of the weeds. So leave it open, let it go down. Pick your bait up and move it. Now, you want to get the line. Actually, I don't ever like to get the line tight when I'm worm fishing. I like to start with my rod, and as I pick the worm up, I want the slack to come out of the line at about 10 o'clock. Then I want to work the worm with my rod tip. You don't ever work a worm by winding the line with your reel. You work it with your rod tip. You work it back to 12 o'clock. All right, when you reach 12 o'clock, you work it slow enough that the worm is still maintaining contact with the bottom. You let your rod, you let your rod tip back down to about 10 o'clock, taking up the slack. Then you start over again, and you work the worm up to the rod tips at 12 o'clock. The only thing you use the reel for is to hold the line, just to store the line, and to crank the fish in when you get him in. Don't work the worm by using your reel handle and winding. So we'll make another cast. I let the worm go to the bottom, put it in gear when it gets there, reel down, start at about 10 o'clock, work my rod tip to 12 o'clock. Real slow. Now, you'll notice I jerk the worm and hop it along a little bit. That's okay, and at times it works, but there's other times, I guess 9% of the time, just moving it as slow as you can move it without jumping or hopping or anything would work the best. There you go. Oh, man. That's all the time, really, you need to take to set the hook. Well, he's a wild one, isn't he? Oh. Come on, man. We, now, you know, when I flew out there and I worked the worm back, 3 or 4 pumps, and the fish hit it. Just the minute he hit it, I cranked down the reel handle 2 times and I set the hook.
Another popular worm fishing technique is flipping, which requires heavier rods, heavier line, and special preparation.
Get rid of this rod. And we're going to use a rod called a flipping stick. Now, a flipping stick, or this particular flipping stick, of course, is in the Quantum series of rods, and it's a telescoping rod. So, as you can see, it's only like 6 feet long until you extend it, and it extends to a little over 7 feet long, 7 foot and 6 inches long. And also, you'll notice that flipping sticks or flipping rods are very strong. I mean, you can really apply a lot of pressure on a fish and pull him out of heavy cover easier than you can with conventional casting rods due to its sturdiness. And of course, you notice that I have a little larger reel. I'm using a reel that has a wide spool, the 420 series reel, and I'm using 25-pound test line. And we're going to be rigging it with a plastic worm. Now, there's a couple of different baits that I like to use flipping. I like to use a jigging pig, which you've seen me use on many other occasions, casting and also flipping. And I like to use a plastic worm Texas rig. But now, the difference in using a plastic worm Texas rig when you're fishing in heavy cover is that you should peg the sinker. Now, I've already rigged the thing up tight, a Sproat hook on. I'm using a 3/0 Sproat hook, and I'm using a heavier sinker than I would casting. I'm using a sinker that's 3/8 of an ounce, and that's, normally I like to start with a sinker size at a 1/4 ounce and going up sometimes to a full 1 ounce. That's important. I'm using a 3/8 today, which is a little on the light side, but I'm going to be flipping in cattails, which means I can drop the sinker down beside the stalks of the cattails, and I don't have to drive the bait and the sinker through a mat of heavy cover. We don't have the mat-type vegetation here. We have cattails. So we don't have to drive through that mat of vegetation, so I can use a little lighter sinker. So I'm using a 3/8 ounce sinker. Now, we need to peg that sinker, like I mentioned a minute ago. Now, to peg the sinker, you just take a standard toothpick, a round toothpick, let the sinker go all the way against the eye of the hook, and then you take the sinker and insert in the hole on the upper side of the sinker. I'm going to point it in and jam it down in there very good, and then just break this toothpick off, just like that, and it breaks off just flush with the top of the sinker. Now, what you've got, as you can see, the sinker doesn't freely move up and down the line. So when you drop it down in heavy cover, the worm don't go to one side and your sinker to the other side. In other words, you can control the bait. When your sinker goes up and down, your bait's with it. And you can drop it up and down right beside the cover you want to drop it up and down beside. So it's very important to peg that slip sinker. All right, now, the bait. Now, a little different. I like to use a bait a little different from the standard bait you would cast with. I like to use, in flipping now, you got to remember, you're dealing with the possibility of catching larger fish because you're fishing in heavier cover. Now, in larger fish, many times like larger baits. Now, in cold water, say maybe up north, I'd prefer to use a jigging pig, which is a smaller bait. Down in Florida, where you have warmer water, it seems as though the worm works better. So what I've got a worm that's actually designed by Fliptail for fishing on top of the water. It has a flat side. But as you can see, it is really a big, ugly worm. And I like ugly worms when I'm fishing for big old bass. So you take the worm and insert it Texas rig, just like we talked about earlier. And we're going to move along and drop this worm down in the little pockets and things and beside the stalks of cattails. And let's see if that don't work to catch a few more fish. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can use your flipping stick to make a flip and fish heavy cover. The most practiced way, I guess you would say, is just drop a length of line off, like I have. My bait's down about the length of my rod. Now, if you can reach, you can just take that thing and drop it in like that if your bait gets to the bottom. But many times, you'll want to drop it further back in the reeds, that, you know, in a place where you can't necessarily reach with a length of a determined amount of line stuck out there. There you go. There he was, right in that heavy cover. I tell you what, I numbed him for just a second. He didn't know what was happening. Whoa, boy. Not a very big fish, but a little bigger than we were catching before. I think you'll find, as a general rule, flipping will catch larger fish than just your conventional tackle.
Mouth bass, but they're especially effective in spring. It's a bait that resembles nothing that swims in the water, yet it works well fished a variety of ways and under a number of different fishing conditions.
Tony, this spot's very similar to the other one.
Yeah.
That same little stumps and things out in the water. Really very light cover. The water's down. I guess the water's down, what, 5 feet, I guess. And so a lot of the blowdowns and things that you would have, blowdowns, of course, referring to trees that have fallen over in the water, provide some of the heaviest cover you find along banks. Blowdowns and boat docks seem to provide a lot of shade. But when you've got water conditions where you've got low water, then basically you're going to be dealing with rocks and stumps. And, of course, don't forget red clay banks, if you have such a thing as red clay in your part of the country, because that water seems to warm a little quicker on those red clay banks, and it provides a good, hard, firm bottom for the bass to bed on. So that's good areas to locate fish. And don't try to do anything fancy with your bait, just like we're doing today. We're doing using a technique that I refer to as just slow rolling. The rolling spinnerbait is just a steady, continuous crank. Now, if you're cranking it real slow like we're cranking, that's slow roll. A little faster is a medium roll, and of course, you can fast roll it. And then rolling is the simplest technique. But now there's other times, fish don't want the same retrieve all the time. If they don't want it rolled, they may want it. Another of my favorite techniques is to cast the spinnerbait out, let it go to the bottom in relatively shallow water, pick it up and move it, and then let it drop. Now, as it drops, most of your strikes are going to occur on the drop, so you need to let it fall on a semi-tight line. So that's what a pull and drop technique. And you can even slow that down, fish it like a plastic worm. And what happens, the spinnerbait's just collapse laying on the bottom, and as you pick it up and move it, it'll barely straighten up, and the blades will helicopter real slow, and it'll collapse and fall back to the bottom. Let's see, a lot of other techniques. One of my favorite techniques is what you call bumping the stump or bumping the cover. And that's throw your spinnerbait past the object you're fishing and crank it in so close to that cover that as the blades are rotating, they hit the cover, and it causes the blades to rattle or make contact with the cover. It'll make the bait move a little bit. A lot of times that'll cause them to take the thing. It just causes what you might refer to as a reflex strike. They'll be holding on that particular piece of cover, and they feel that old spinnerbait or hear the spinnerbait coming. As it crashes into that piece of cover, they just charge up and get it.
That's the way I've been catching them, just having to take your time and really fish that, slow down that spinnerbait. I fish with so many different people that most of the time people, whenever they approach an object like this right here, this particular piece of wood that's laying in the water right here, they want to throw right on top of their target, right on top of the strike zone, and that really spooks the fish, and they really don't have time to react to the bait. What you really need to do is throw past your target and bring your bait right beside it, and that lets the fish have a time to react, to adjust to wherever they are on that particular piece of structure, to where they have a chance to reach out and strike that bait as it comes past them.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people do tend to... there he is.
Oh, that's a good fish right there, Orlando.
Oh, a little knot-head.
Yeah. Just a little old buck bass been moved back up in here to spawn. I bet that's what it is.
Probably the one I missed just a second ago. Now, I threw back in there, I bet you 8 or 10 times before that little old fish finally took it.
I bet you there's a good large. I bet there's a good fish back in the back of that thing that he's came back in here with.
He did good.
Tell you what, I think the spinnerbait's working a little better than the buzzbait.
I'm telling you, you told me I wasn't going to catch me today.
No, I didn't say that.
I'm beginning to think you're out fishing here today so far. I'm hoping, though, that I'll catch a big one here.
Maybe the deal is, see, I'm just bulging that spinnerbait underwater, and I guess what you're talking about when you talk about bulging is you're just making the spinnerbait, you're pulling it fast enough to keep it just a couple of inches under the surface, enough to make the water make a V as it comes back to you. There's one broke right back there. And the blade really is not cutting the top of the water like a buzzbait. But many times, maybe that's just a better deal. Maybe they just prefer that. But I tell you, you fish long enough to know that it really doesn't make a lot of difference. I mean, you don't have to do a lot different to be effective and not effective. I mean, you know, you can just change your style or technique just the slightest amount and start catching fish whereby you could spend the whole day and catch nothing. I mean, just the difference in the speed of retrieve could make all the difference in the world.
Or in the bait you're using, in this case right here.
Yeah. I mean, even though we're practically doing the same thing, the fish are looking up, they seem to be taking this spinnerbait, at least this morning, a little better than they are the buzz bait.
Orlando, you know, this morning here, we're catching them, you're running that spinnerbait real fast, and spinnerbaits, especially single blades like you're using, is kind of synonymous with slow rolling a spinnerbait, you know, pulling it over limbs and over grass, letting it fall. Why do you think that they're hitting that spinnerbait running real fast? Are you getting a reaction bite, you think, maybe, or are they actually feeding?
I think they just look up and see that water bulging, and I guess maybe they're feeding on bait this morning, and they're down in that milfoil, maybe suspended in the milfoil, and, you know, it's coming by so fast, they just got one chance to get it. They don't take time really to think about it. I guess probably that would be what it is, you know, just catching just more or less out of reflex. Even fishing grass lines, you need to basically look for the same thing in a grass line. If you look at a grass line and look at the exposed grass, it'll pretty much tell you about the contour of the bottom, because, you know, most of the time you're going to find the edge of that grass line is going to be, say this grass line runs out into 5 feet of water, the grass above the water, you're going to see that 5-foot contour all the way around the lake. So when you see a point running out like that, I mean, the grass line is going to indicate that there's actually land structure under there that's running out too, or a point.
Right.
And I think you find these key areas, you can find little cuts that go back in the grass line, which would indicate maybe a little ditch. And so if you'll focus most of the cast on what appears to be structure underneath, I think you can catch a lot more fish. Of course, I'm telling you that knowing that you know it.
Well, I was thinking the same thing, Orlando, looking down this straight bank here, what looks like a straight bank. There's all kind of little irregularities down through here. You got little mini pockets, little mini points, and then out in front of us here,
you got a major deal, huh?
Yeah, a big deal. But all these places are great for just one bass or maybe 2 or 3 bass, and then when you get to a big point like that, that's synonymous with those schools of fish that we occasionally catch and read about. Did you catch another one? I believe you have. Hey, that's another nice fish, Orlando. When you're hot, eh?
Man, I'm telling you.
All right.
Oh, boy. Whoa.
Did he wet water on you?
Look at this one.
All right. Well, hurry up and get him in. Maybe I can catch one in a minute.
Orlando likes to tie on crankbaits that imitate natural foods.
You know, fishing a crankbait, they'll hit a crankbait just about any way that you can fish the darn thing. But however you fish it, you should fish it radically. I mean, when you're trying to find fish, you need to vary the speed, you need to start, you need to stop. Sometimes you need to jerk it along, twitch it along. You know, there's really not much of a wrong way to fish a crankbait. A lot of times you'll have, now I've got it completely stopped right there. A lot of times you can just let, see there, you see that fish hit it, and the bait completely stopped. Look here, and that's a good fish too. I mean, the bait was completely still on the bottom. A lot of times, a fish, especially when they're inactive, they'll chase that bait. And you can stop it, and they'll gather around, and they'll look at it a few minutes, and then all of a sudden, I guess just out of the feel of competition, one of them will decide, well, I'm going to get it before another one gets it, and they'll just charge the bait and get it. Anytime fishing a crankbait, you'll find that you can just let the bait sit for several seconds. It don't have to be just a quick pause, but just crank her down. Let her sit for several seconds, just like I'm doing right here. And when you get a strike, it'll be just like a worm strike. You'll just pop it, pow, pow, pow. Cranking, it's real important that you use a reel that's a high-speed reel. Well, there's one. That's what we're trying to catch here, folks. He's got that lure fouled. I hope he don't come off. See, there are bigger fish down on those ledges. I wasn't kidding. Oh. If I don't fall out of the boat here. All right. Be easy there, fish. Don't stick it in me. We had him stuck pretty good. We released him unharmed. That's about a 3.5 or 4 pound bass. That's I'd say maybe a little over 4. Heavy, solid fish. Okay. Now, I tell you what I did that time. I threw more parallel with the drop-off that we were talking about earlier. I threw back in that direction. Instead of bringing it straight off the drop-off, I pulled it more parallel down the drop-off, and I'm going to try it again. It's an exclusive fellowship of bass anglers exchanging ideas and skills so all of us can catch more and bigger fish, and I want you to join today. You'll get 9 big issues of Bassmaster magazine chock full of the most helpful fish-catching talk I've ever read. Tips from the world's most successful bass fishermen, reports on the latest gear and gadgets, exciting articles and special features. Bassmaster will increase your fishing pleasure and improve your angling skills. Also receive this handsome silk patch, a colorful decal, membership card, and handbook. All for only $15. So drop your rod and grab the phone and call Bass right now. Become part of the world's greatest fishing society, and I'll send you my BASS cap free with your paid membership.
Join Bass today at special rates and get Orlando's cap. Call 1-800-257-1234. Major credit cards accepted. Call now 1-800-257-1234. Sunday, Superstar Summer continues with John Wayne.
Welcome to the May.
Duty.
There they are. Building a boat bridge.
Honor. Country. The Green Berets, the award theater presentation, 10:35 Eastern on the Superstation, Sunday morning.
I missed a fish. I cranked it down and stopped it a second. He hit it just as I started to crank again, and I just missed it. Well, this is pretty good. Tell you, casting into the wind is a real problem, and we got some wind. Not heavy wind, but enough to make it a little difficult to fish and do television at the same time. We're pretty much doing the same thing. I'm just having to wind faster or longer to get the bait down into the deeper water. Then I'm slowing it down. You know, fishing a crankbait, they'll hit a crankbait just about any way that you can fish the darn thing. But however you fish it, you should fish it radically. I mean, when you're trying to find fish, you need to vary the speed, you need to start, you need to stop. Sometimes you need to jerk it along, twitch it along. You know, there's really not much of a wrong way to fish a crankbait. A lot of times you'll have, now I've got it completely stopped right there. A lot of times you can just let it, see there? You see that fish hit it? And the bait completely stopped. Look here. And that's a good fish too. I mean, the bait was completely still on the bottom. A lot of times, a fish, especially when they're inactive, they'll chase that bait. And you can stop it and they'll gather around. And they'll look at it a few minutes. And then all of a sudden, I guess just out of the feel of competition, one of them will decide, well, I'm going to get it before another one gets it, and they'll just charge the bait and get it. Many times fishing a crankbait, you'll find that you can just let the bait sit for several seconds. It don't have to be just a quick pause, but just crank her down. Let her sit for several seconds, just like I'm doing right here. And when you get a strike, it'll be just like a worm strike. It'll just pop it, pow, pow, pow. Cranking, it's real important that you use a reel that's a high-speed reel. Well, there's one. That's what we're trying to catch here, folks. He's got that lure fouled. I hope he don't come off. See, there are bigger fish down on those ledges. I wasn't kidding. If I don't fall out of the boat here. All right. Be easy there, fish. Don't stick it in me. I had him stuck pretty good. We released him unharmed. That's about a 3.5 or 4 pound bass. That's I'd say maybe a little over 4. Heavy, solid fish. Okay. Now, I tell you what I did that time. I threw more parallel with the drop-off that we were talking about earlier. I threw back in that direction. Instead of bringing it straight off the drop-off, I pulled it more parallel down the drop-off, and I'm going to try it again. I don't know whether that was a strike or not. I tell you what, you do this all day long, and it really, really will make you appreciate a graphite rod and a graphite reel. I tell you, that just doesn't tire you out as much. There he is. That may be a better one there. Come in here. Weigh a couple of pounds. Boy, did he want that hellbender. There's another one swimming with him. Look at this. It was about another one, maybe 2 more I couldn't see, swimming right along with him. That tells me that there must be a school of them right out there on this drop. Now, if I can keep the boat position correctly here, tell you what, it's important to have a pair of pliers. Now, with a pair of pliers, I can get that hook out and not affect that fish at all, not even hurt him, just go straight out. If you don't have pliers, something to get him out with, a lot of times you can tear the fish's mouth and maybe hurt him. So there we are. Let's see if there was anything to that other fish following. There might have been 2 or 3 fish with him. I just looked down, and at first I thought I saw 1, and then when I said that, it looked like maybe 2. But I know one thing, he hit because he was hungry. He had half that big old hellbender in his mouth. These fish are a good size, and that's a good one right there. Well, he may just be in the hydrilla. Yeah, that's a 3 or 4 pound fish. Oh, man. That old hellbender is really a good bait, a good weedless bait. And it's an old-fashioned lure. You know, they've been making this lure for I don't know how long. I mean, every fisherman in the country, I bet, has a hellbender in his tackle box. And they just quit using them. You know, I think sometimes bass get wise to a bait and quit hitting it. And fishermen will just put it away in a place in his tackle box where he don't use lures anymore. And then something else will get hot, and they'll hit it for a while, and then they'll quit hitting it. So I've just started going back and recycling my old lures. And I've found that they still catch fish just like they always have. Hellbender has always been a good bait. Oh, that might be a better one there. These fish are just a better all-around fish than those other ones. Now look at this. Another one. I'll tell you, these fish look like twins. They're all just good 3 and 4 pound bass. Oh, buddy. Oh. Well, I tell you, that other set of hooks come around and got him in that real thin skin on the lower part of the gill cover and pull him out just gently. And as you can see, he's not hurt at all. Pretty fish. Now, I tell you, this is the kind of fishing that every fisherman dreams of doing. I mean, just pull up on just a piece of structure that you read about and hear about, make a cast out there and catch fish. I mean, it's just like you're supposed to do it in the books, right? This is exactly how the books tell you to do it.
You know, a big wheeler dealer like me has to keep up on the action. The players, who's hot, who's not. And what's a better deal than picking up a copy of Sports Illustrated? You see, Sports Illustrated...
Excuse me, sir, but I got a better deal.
Yeah, kid, right. I'll handle this. You see, Sports Illustrated gives me more than just stats and scores. I get the feeling of what it's like to hit a brick wall at 30 miles an hour. How it feels to look down the barrel of a loaded gun. To lose a tough one. And how it feels to win it all. That's what Sports Illustrated gives me.
Well, Sports Illustrated gave me this NFL Follies video cassette. Free with my paid subscription. It's 44 minutes of fumbles, foolery, and follies. It makes a great gift, and it's free.
Free? Come on, kid. This is America. Nobody gives you something for nothing.
Okay, free for subscribing to Sports Illustrated.
Aha!
Ah, but that's just the half of it. I get Sports Illustrated for less than one-half your newsstand price. 27 action-packed weeks of football, baseball, basketball, and more delivered right to your door for 3 installments of just $9.79 each.
That's more than 50% off.
Subscribe now and you get the College and Pro Football Spectacular. Plus, you get this handy NFL schedule free, and you get the famous swimsuit issue uncovering what truly is man's favorite spectator sport. Phones are open now. Just call this toll-free number and you get the whole deal. You can even use your credit card.
Okay, let's get this straight. They get a 50% savings, the schedule, the football spectacular, the swimsuit issue, and the free NFL tape. Now, see, kid? That's a great deal.
Gee, sir, you're right.
Yeah.
Get the savings, get the special issues, get the NFL schedule, get the video cassette.
Oh, Sports Illustrated? I want to renegotiate.
Sports Illustrated. Get the feeling.
WTBS viewers, call 1-800-541-8600.
Tell you what, you ain't gonna see too much shoreline fishing. We on these better fish out here on this drop-off. We'll just show you a little bit of what we did this morning on the shallower banks and devote most of the show to this deep water structure. Now, on this deeper water cover, there are a number of other baits you can use to catch them with. But just remember that your baits have got to get down to the depth the fish are holding. And these particular fish are holding in about 8 feet of water. So you got to use a bait that's going to run down at that depth. And that's going to have to be a deep running crankbait, some kind of tail spinning lure, or even a plastic worm. There we are. That's a smaller one. Smaller fish, but he don't know that. Come on up there, pal. You're wasting our time. You know, you get on a bunch of fish and you don't want to take a few minutes and fool with the smaller ones sometimes, do you? You just want to get back out there and try to catch a really big one. I missed that fish. Anyway, I'm going to make another one that's not exactly parallel to the drop, but anytime you throw a little off of a right angle or straight angle into it, you can cover a little more of the drop off. Tell you what, you can work up a sweat doing this. Picked up some grass that time. Try one right out in there. All these fish seem to be just kind of off of that little point of timber there. They're not up on the point. They're out where Apparently that's a point of land with some trees and things growing on it. And it deepens as it comes on out here. Those trees, even though they look deep, they're really bushes and they're only in about 4 foot of water. Some kind of crepe myrtles or something. And as it comes out here and slowly drops off, there's more stumps and things under the water. And the fish are way out off of that. I tell you, just because you're out in the middle of the lake, don't let that bother you. So many fishermen worry about not being able to cast to an object, something that they can see, or the deep water. And that's really not a concern that you should have. Oh, that might be a better one there. Oh, yeah. Nice fish. Nice chunk. Now that fish was out off of the drop-off. He was out in, I don't know, 17 feet of water, I guess. He was just suspended, I guess, out, or either he chased the bait out. I don't know which. But I cranked it down, and when I paused, he nailed that thing. Slowed down a little bit. A lot of times when fish do this to you, either they've moved off just a little way, either deeper or maybe even shallower, or they've just gotten accustomed to the lure color. So you need to move around just a little bit, try a little shallower, a little deeper, even try changing the bait. A different color, put a different color lure on there. I doubt seriously I would change whatever make of lure I was catching fish on, but I'd sure consider another color. Because every crankbait runs different, has different action, runs different depth, and has its own little special features and deals, and you don't need to change that if they're really getting on it good. Like those. That's a good one there. Well, I don't know, maybe not. Two or 3 pound fish. Well, he hadn't even jumped yet. And he was up on top of the structure like they're supposed to be. Another one caught on the outside of the mouth. Getting pretty good at catching them on the outside of the head. So anyway, see, all these fish look good. Good, healthy fish. Most of these ponds, I guess their primary forage base would be, of course, bluegill and brim, and probably crawfish. A lot of lakes lack threadfin shad or gizzard shad or some of the forage you would find in larger reservoirs where they stock bait fish. I tell you, you can normally tell when a small lake, of course, and I'm calling this 50-acre lake a small lake. It is compared to large man-made impoundments, but when you catch fish and you catch them all sizes, from 1.5 pounds, 3-pounders, 4-pounders, and 8 and 10-pounders, you know you're in pretty good balance, and you got a good population of fish. This may be a better fish, I'm not sure. they get down in that high drilling, it's just hard to tell sometimes. Now, he's maybe 3 or 4 pounds. I'll be darned if I ain't got him on the outside of the head. I'm catching a number of these fish on the outside. These are nice, solid fish. I tell you what, there's just all the difference in the world out on this deeper drop over what we were doing this morning. And you got to believe that all this activity is happening on one drop. On one drop, it's maybe 50 yards long, 35 yards long. But too, you know, we're during a cold water period, so you find fish will maybe bunch up a little tighter in the middle of winter or in the middle of summer. Either one, either hot water periods or cold water periods. We're just here on a real pretty winter day. And you can see the difference. The fish we caught earlier this morning had some color that had been apparently up in the weeds and shallow cover. Feeding, and these fish are, of course, whiter because they're coming out of deeper water. And also, remember when you're fishing a crankbait that the size of line that you use is really important, especially if your crankbait has to run at a particular depth. Remember, the lighter diameter line, the deeper your crankbait will run. The faster you crank it, the deeper it'll run. So line diameter, just like in any other kind of fishing, is very, very important. And also be sure to use a good premium quality fishing line. It's the strongest link between you and the fish. Here we are. That may be a little better, I don't know. Got a little hydrilla with it. Got to be careful when you handle fish if you're caught on a crankbait, because you can just get a handful of hooks. There you go, pal. He's still running a little small. Boat back around.
Every Monday through Friday, Mike Horner drives his Chevy S10 4x4 to work.
Hi, Mike.
But on Friday, November 9th, Mike made a different kind of commute. The Baja 1000, North America's most punishing off-road race. Could an everyday Chevy S10 survive? It not only survived, it won its class. So no matter what kind of commute you have to make, nothing works like a Chevy truck. Now get 6.9 financing during Chevy's year-end clearance. Length of finance contract is limited.
You can't use a step ladder to get off the roof, a straight ladder to change a light bulb, and neither is good for painting ceilings. So here's Super Step. It's every ladder you'll ever need and more. It's a tough 12.5-foot straight ladder that you can bend and lock into a 6-foot freestanding step ladder, or an adjustable scaffold that's strong enough for 2. But there's more. Fold and lock this way and you have a workbench or table. Fold and lock again and it's a pair of sawhorses. Can't reach the window without breaking down plants? Use Super Step this way and you won't crush a leaf. You can even paper that tricky stairwell safely and easily. Each of these Loctite hinges withstands 10,000 pounds of pressure. Ever see a ladder bend like this before? Don't buy all these ladders, scaffolds, and more. You'll spend over $500. One Super Step does all these jobs. And when you're done, just fold it up and store it away. Super Step comes with this incredible 10-year limited warranty and a simple 3-part payment plan. Don't send any money. Just call 1-800-257-1234. We'll bill your credit card 3 payments of $37 each, and we won't bill the last payment until you've tried Superstep at home for 30 days. Or if you prefer, send a check for full payment to Superstep, Box 7500 Atlanta. The total price is just $99 plus $12 shipping and handling. Call 1-800-257-1234 now.
Stay with us, Superstation. Next, catch up on all the latest racing news on Motor Week Illustrated, right here on Superstation WTBS. Next.
There he is. Oh, that may be a better one there. Whoa. A little less than 5 pounds, huh? Tell you what, normally you get out on the deep water cover or structure and you catch better fish. We found a few little smaller fish along here. Don't give up when you find those small ones. Many times I found the small ones and turn around and really got on a lot of good ones. We'll continue that.
Brought to you in part by Ranger Boats. We still build them one at a time. By the world's most advanced fishing lines, ultra-sensitive prime and tough strength from DuPont. By Daiwa, where high technology keeps coming up with better ways to fish. Today is mine.
Every time you go fishing, you have to guess where to set your drag. If you guess right, you get a fish dinner. If you guess wrong, the fish eats your lunch. But now there's AccuSet from Daiwa. It's got a spring scale built right into it that lets you set a perfect drag. And when you can dial in a perfect drag, you can figure on one thing. More fish.
It's the dawn of a brand new day.
Introducing new Sunspray Coast. Same great Coast lather, but a whole new scent.
Cold Sunspray picks you up in a brand new way. Like the fresh, clean feeling of a brand new day. Coast picks you up and makes you feel alive. Yeah, Coast, feel alive with Coast.
New Sunspray Coast and invigorating regular Coast, too.
Being an all-round cowboy isn't always a case of throwing a perfect loop. Sometimes it's a sack of potatoes. And when you're ready for a second opinion, whoosh, head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream for a taste as smooth as its name. Whoosh.
Well, that was really good. Want some more? Sure.
Head for Bush beer.
Head for the mountains.
Tuesday, ESPN slams into action with AWA Championship Wrestling. Bockwinkel, Zabisco, Slaughter, and Zukov headline an all-star card with a warning to the heavyweight champ.
Your days are numbered, boy.
Then one of the most successful heavyweights ever, James Quick Tillis, takes on Avery Rawls in a live top-ranked special. A heavyweight lineup headlines a Tuesday night at the fights on ESPN.
It's a beautiful, bright, early spring morning in Bartow, Florida, as Bill arrives at the Davis Brothers Motor Lodge to pick up one of his favorite fishing partners. Now, this guy flew in last night from his home in Louisiana. And as soon as he arrived, he was on the telephone to Bill saying, "Man, I'm here chomping at the bits to go after the big one, so don't be late. Get here as early as you can, and I'll be out there waiting for you at the door." for you at the door is what he said, Bill. Well, wasn't that what he said, Bill? That he'd be waiting at the door? Oh, well.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing, big guy. I'm real excited.
Yeah, I could tell that. I about knocked your door down this morning. You still didn't
Well, I'm coming around now. It's a little bit late, but not bad. You were going to leave me.
30 minutes?
Well...
Yeah, I thought you'd gone. I didn't know where you were.
Where was I going to go?
You told me on the phone last night. Be on time now. Be on time, Bill.
Well, you were on time. I was wanting you to be on time because I knew I was going to be 30 minutes late.
All right, here's the two baits.
Oh, boy. What is that?
What did you tell me?
Oh, I said I wanted to fish a jig and eel.
All right, you wanted to learn how to fish a jig and eel. You'd never caught a bass on a jig and eel, right?
Never.
All right, and you wanted to learn how to fish a drop bait.
Right.
All right.
And you brought me a big old ugly jig and eel.
All right, what?
Who in the world would want to hit a blue bait?
All right, the fish are on the bottom. All right, we could use one of about 3 baits. The water temperature is about 60 degrees. We'll start with the drop bait. Now, what the drop bait is, it's a spinner bait, but it's got a short arm. It's got a weed guard.
A short arm.
All right, it's this short arm here. It doesn't extend back over the hook.
Thing that has a spinner on it.
Right. Then we've got a weed guard here. It's a 5/8 ounce. And what we're going to do is put a piece of pork rind on the back of it.
We already have, hadn't we?
Yeah. Now, the pork rind, what it's going to do is give the bait flotation. As you pull that bait up and it starts to fall, what's going to happen, that pork rind right there, it's going to add a little bit as far as an attractor. It's going to add something to it. But what it will do, as it falls, it'll give the bait a little bit more buoyancy. When it falls with the spinner turning just like that. The bait rides out straight and that pork rind floats up just like that. We've got it rigged down. That way, the fluid movement of water coming across the back of these legs will kick those legs a lot more than rigging it with the chunk, fat part of it down. So, we'll rig it up like that, and I'll show you how to fish it in just a few minutes as soon as you get out. Now, if you can leave here and say you learned how to fish a drop bait, and they're not easy baits to learn to fish.
Now, can people know how to put that pork rind on? Now, you just told me something. I would have, number one, never known to put it on.
All right, here's the bottom side, you see? Here's the chunk side, like on the jig. See how we got
Well, this would be a little easier, because I know this bait's going to go like that. This bait's going to go like that.
In other words, the fluid movement of water is going to go right across the bottom of that and kick those legs up.
I thought it was because there's the darker blues on the bottom side. Fish don't care?
No, it's going to kick it up like that in that fluid movement. But what that pork rind's going to do, that frog chunk, it's going to add a little bit more buoyancy to that bait. So as you pull it like that and it starts to fall, those legs will kick.
That's all that's for, is just buoyancy. It's not for,
Adds a little bit to the attraction of the bait because it extends the bait. It makes the bait look a little bit bigger.
John Riggins with 10 reasons why it's time to order Field & Stream now.
One good reason is this tough water-resistant duffel bag. It's one of 2 free gifts with your paid subscription. And here are 9 more reasons. Field & Stream shows you how to get more out of fishing and hunting, thanks to the best outdoor writers in print. And right now you can save plenty. 15 issues are just $12.97. That's 56% off the single copy price. You save over $16. So call 1-800...
You said 2 free gifts.
Okay, they'll give you the duffel bag plus a surprise gift.
A surprise? Like the 83 Super Bowl?
You got it.
To order Field & Stream and get your free duffel bag plus the surprise gift, call 1-800-821-1000. 15 issues for $12.97. 56% off the cover price, 35% off the basic subscription rate. That's 1-800-821-1000. 1-800-821-1000. Call now.
Well, I never caught any fish with jig and eel or the drop bait, so I'm kind of looking forward to that because the fish are going to be hitting about, well, they're going to be on the bottom, but we're going to be fishing about 10, 15.
Yeah, anywhere from 8 to 12 feet deep.
And I know there's some big fish in here. That's kind of got me excited,
Sure.
and I know it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it and having a lot of fun and acting crazy as we normally do. I feel, although I don't have that much experience using this bait, I don't think it would be fun to go fishing with you if I didn't make a little bet on the side. And because I feel so confident what
I'd be taking advantage of you. I'd take advantage. This would be taking advantage
I know, but let's make it fun. I mean, if you go fishing,
all right. What's the bet?
Well, I'll bet you. I know you like chicken, especially crispy fried chicken, and I'm kind of partial to it myself. So I would like to bet. I'm not going to bet you a little old 6-piece bucket or something. I'm going to go. Let's go 5 buckets. What is that? That's about 100 pieces of crispy. And I like crispy, so let's go 100 pieces of crispy fried chicken for the largest fish, and I think that I'll be the one that wins.
No complaining.
Oh, I'm going to do some complaining because you're always in front of the boat. You'll be putting the boat right in the spot.
Forget the bet.
Well, just give me the rod and reel.
Have we got a bet?
We got a bet. I want a little shake on it because I don't tell you, you're not a man of your word. I want to shake on it. All right, the viewing audience has seen it. Give me.
You got a bet. Start with the drop bait. We'll switch to this a little bit later. Let's see if you can master that. Okay, boy. I don't want to hear any mouthing.
There'll be no mouthing, I promise.
All right, let her go right down to the bottom. Oh, the bait's falling, stupid.
I got one, Bill. Get the net.
No, you
Get
haven't.
the net. God, dog, he got off. Right first cast, he got off. Oh, they are in here. Come on, get out there. They're in here. Those suckers are in here now.
Look here. Coming under the boat. He's coming up right out there. That's a powerful Jesse right there, son.
Pretty good fish there, big guy. Pretty good fish. Pretty good fish. That fish will go 2 pounds.
He'll go about 2.5.
Too bad. Nice fish. It's amazing. A guy with a little talent as you have is able to luck off and catch a fish like that. You ought to be proud. I'm proud for you. I'm proud for you. I'm proud for that backlash.
I tell you, it shook you up because you backlashed.
Didn't shake me up.
I'm going to show you how to catch another one right there. I'm going to show you how you do it. Let it go to the bottom. There you go.
You're right there, boy. They hit it when it goes down. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, I don't believe it. I believe I got the biggest fish in the world, right?
You're going to swallow your tobacco.
I know it. I just didn't swallow it. Look here, son. I done got the big one. I done got the big one. Oh, my. Come on up here, baby. Oh, you big sucker. Oh, my gosh. Look at this.
Oh, that is a good
Look
fish.
at this. Oh, son, don't get off. Please, Mama, don't get off.
Oh. Take him off the back of the boat, and then you can
Take him off the back of the boat. Give me a net, sucker. All right. Oh, is this fun?
All right, then.
I want to tell you folks out there just how much fun I'm having.
You gonna lose him?
I ain't gonna lose him. Come here, baby. Come over here and see Uncle Terry. I don't like it. Oh, this is not any fun. Well, what I did really then, I increased my polarity and zinged her out there, you know, just like I was coaching. You kids out there listening today, having trouble throwing the ball? Increase your polarity.
Let's see the thickness of his girth. Turn him around. Yeah, there you go. Turn him sideways.
That fish looks like he lost his roll, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
Doesn't he?
Nice.
6?
Yeah, every bit of 6. What can I say?
What can I say? Oh, lost his roll. Boy, if he had his roll, he'd go about 7, 7.25.
Oh, he'd go about 10% of what he is now.
Are you thinking about a special gift for a special fisherman in your life? Possibly their birthday, a personal thank you, or even for Christmas, which is just around the corner? Well, I've got a perfect suggestion. It's my 2 brand new full-color how-to videos, Dancing Lesson 1 and Dancing Lesson 2, covering some really great tips on locating and catching various kinds of freshwater fish. You'll find tips to help you with the how, what, when, where, and why about fishing. Tips on their habitat and what effect Mother Nature has on their moods. Each color video is 60 minutes long with charts, illustrations, and action to better explain the tip or topic being discussed. Now, here's how to order.
These brand new videos are $24.95 each or $44.95 for both. Add $2 postage for each tape order. Call 1-800-826-6868 or write Profiles Video, 1300 Brookwood Drive, Little Rock, Arkansas, 72202. That number again is 1-800-826-6868. Visa and MasterCard accepted. Add $3 additional for COD.
You might get caught out in the middle of nowhere with a dead battery, but I won't. This is a Delco maintenance-free battery, and when this green eye is showing, it means I've got all the starting power I need, up to 770 cranking amps. If you think your battery's fading fast, I'd start thinking Delco.
Now through January 3rd, get a $5 rebate on most Delco batteries. See a participating AC Delco retailer for details.
Never wait for trouble.
I've tried it. Now I believe it. Denerex Tingles tells me it's doing more. Head and Shoulders, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denerex adds both an extra anti-itch medicine and conditioner, too.
Goodbye, Head and Shoulders. Hello, Denerex.
Our special guest today is football great Terry Bradshaw. It's early spring, and conditions are perfect for largemouth bass. It's a comfortable 68 degrees outside with light to moderate winds, and the water is quite clear and 60 degrees. For the most part, Bill and Terry are fishing grassline drops and have determined that the best depths to fish are in the 8 to 12-foot range, because here the most significant change in pH levels of the water occur. You can see by this chart that at 6 feet, the pH level is 8.3, and at 7 feet, the level is 8.2. But at depths of 8 to 9 feet, the pH abruptly decreases from 8.1 to 7.8. This change of 3 units per foot is greater than at other depths, and it's precisely what our fishermen are interested in, because this is where the fish are supposed to be. Today, it's where the fish are, too. Now, let's see if Bill and Terry can land a few more fish.
Hold your bait a minute. I'm under you. That is a good fish.
That a good one, Bill? Sure enough? Oh, there he is. Roll, baby.
So you just throw it out, let it go to the bottom, and pick it up. That's hard to pull in front. That's
big as I thought he was. He's a meanie. That crazy thing. He beats powerful.
That fish goes 7.5 pounds.
No.
That fish will go 7.5 pounds.
No. He'll weigh about 6. He'll weigh about 6 pounds is all he'll weigh. See how thick he is?
Mm-hmm.
See, boy, I've got to quit this. It's just embarrassing. This is just embarrassing. Now, what I'm trying to show you, all right, now watch. I threw it out.
Yes, you did.
All right. I'm going to watch my line till that bait hits the bottom. All right, it's falling. It's about 10 feet deep. All right, just hit the bottom. I'm picking it up about a foot. I'm taking up that slack, and it's falling. You just hit the bottom again. I'm picking it up again. It's falling back. It just now hit the bottom. I'm picking it up, taking up the slack a little bit, letting it fall back. Now, the reason I'm keeping tension on it, I've got the feeling when he hits it, Terry. Right there was a hit, so help me.
Right at the boat, Bill.
Pretty good fish.
Oh. Pretty good fish.
Oh, good night, yeah.
That's a pretty good fish. Oh, son, I'm gonna turn you loose. You ain't got to do
Look
all
at
this.
you. You got you around the motor, I'll tell you the
No,
truth.
get back over here.
Mercy, mercy.
Come here, rascal.
3.5, 4 pound fish, huh?
If we get time and get a break in the action here, what I'll do is we'll get on the shoreline, and I'll work with you on that technique.
I appreciate it.
I realize it's a little complicated for a city boy, but us country fellas, this is no big deal.
Every day.
Before I go to bed every night, I run down to the lake, catch 3, 4, 7, 8 pounders, just to let them know I'll be there in the morning. I do that every day.
Did you fall out of bed on your head this morning?
You're wishing I had.
No, you're sure talking like it.
Huh?
You're talking
I've
like
got my game going.
What'd you do? What are you doing? You get a cramp or something? I could catch another fish, but I don't want to. See, all I'm doing, I'm fishing that bait with the rod. In other words, throw it out. I'm gonna watch that line as it goes down. All right, I just hit the bottom. I'm gonna pick it up with the rod. Gosh, I had a hit and I missed the doggone fish. Hit it, fall. Wait a minute, here, hit it again. I got him in. Whoa. I went on that point. See, I just pick it up, just dropped it right back.
Nothing to it, my boy. Oh, that's good fish. Isn't that a pretty fish?
Pretty shaped, isn't it? Oh, down there, Jesse. All right, come on. See? Keep him up, keep him up, keep him up. Don't let him go down on you. Put some pressure on him.
I'm putting pressure on
Let's see. Put some pressure.
Oh, no! Our Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do it right.
No way.
God dog, I got the whopper here.
Well, where are you going to let him run you all under the boat? Reel the line.
I'm reeling you.
You look so... Look at there, got the fish on the back
I
side.
got my mount. I got my mount. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Don't get off.
That fish is... that fish ain't but about 5.5
That
pounds.
fish is 5.5 my eyeball. You better guess again, Bill Dink.
No.
You better guess again.
Turn him sideways.
I'm turning him sideways.
He's about 6 pounds, truthfully. I will be honest with you. Now, I'm not going to cheat you out of a fish. He's a skinny.
That fish is 6 pounds?
He's a light 6 is what he is. Throw the fish back in the water. Just throw the fish back.
Turn him loose. You can turn this fish loose.
Turn that fish loose.
That gets me going. I'm telling you, that really gets me going. Ain't that a dandy?
Yep.
Well, it truly has been quite a contest between these two guys. But everything considered, we'd have to say that Terry probably came out the winner. After all, he's learned how to fish 2 fantastic baits today, and that should really improve his fishing. Well, from the looks of this, maybe we should back up a bit and say that both of our fishermen emerged victorious.
Go on, Jim. Tell the kid how you learned to track trophy deer like that one.
Well, I came across this old Indian in the woods. Now, he was so hungry that in exchange for my lunch...
Just wait now. I remember eating a sandwich. This big old buck walked up, took a bite, and followed me back to camp.
You know the season my ox sticks jammed? Tie my bootlaces together, string them from the barrel to the stock, and make it into a bow to bring down a monster like that.
North American Whitetail, the one magazine just for deer hunters. Every issue packs the real truth about finding trophy bucks, how deer avoid hunters, and amazing new facts about the rut, movement patterns, weather, hunting pressure, everything to get your trophy out of your dreams and onto your wall.
Get there before daylight, you know.
Call toll-free 1-800-253-4000. You'll get 1 year of North American Whitetail for $14.95. The one magazine just for deer hunters. Call now 1-800-253-4000.
Not everyone got a vacation this summer.
I need a vacation. What do you need, some glasses? How many fingers can you see?
This fall, you can still get great low fares to more places on the biggest bargain airline, United.
I got a vacation.
Have a nice shower, Picorni.
I'm not just flying. I'm flying friendly skies.
I'm out of there.
Ladies and gents, it's the Betcha Bite a Chip fight. In this corner, Andy Cassess, contender to bite a Chips Ahoy without biting a chip. And in this corner, Chips Ahoy, champion of chocolate chip cookies. He takes a bite. Ooh. He beats 12 chocolate chips from the right, from the left. He's knocked out by all those chips.
Now there's more chocolate and bigger chocolate chips in new Chewy Chips Ahoy. Original and new Chewy Chips Ahoy. Bet you bite a chip.
When the sun came up this morning, Bill Dance Outdoors. Brought to you in part by Ranger Boats. We still build them one at a time. By the world's most advanced fishing lines, ultra-sensitive prime and tough strength from DuPont. By Daiwa, where high technology keeps coming up with better ways to fish. Today is mine.
Daddy, what's Vietnam?
What's Vietnam? A question a child might ask, but not a childish question. A question that in the past has led not to answers, but only to other questions. What were we fighting for? Why didn't we just drop the bomb? How could we fight an enemy we couldn't even see?
Did all those people die?
Time Time Life Books and Boston Publishing present The Vietnam Experience, the series designed to answer the nagging questions.
Did we win the war, Daddy?
Each volume looks at the war from every point of view. No matter where you stood, you'll gain new insights into your own position, as well as those you may have opposed. You'll attend secret meetings at the White House and walk into an ambush to draw enemy fire. From Khe Sanh to Chicago to Saigon, you'll be there, learning much you didn't know about Vietnam and much you didn't know about America.
Why did we fight the war, Daddy?
Call toll-free and start putting the Vietnam experience into focus with Combat Photographer. You'll see what it was like over there from a perspective the media couldn't provide, an historic perspective that only now are we able to consider. It is important that we honor and remember those who gave their lives for our country. But honoring isn't enough. Remembering isn't enough. We must answer the question, what's Vietnam? For ourselves and for the next generation.
Will I have to fight in a war, Daddy?
To order your first book, call now, 1-800-228-3600. It will be sent to you free for 10 days. Keep it and pay just $14.95 plus shipping and handling. Others will follow about one every other month. Keep the ones you want. Cancel anytime. So call 1-800-228-3600.
Coming up next on SportsCenter, there was one hockey game played in Buffalo last night, but there were two coaching changes afterward. Former University of Tennessee quarterback Tony Robinson is sentenced today after being convicted for cocaine charges. And former heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes, decides to retire, but he's still having fun.
Listen, folks, now here's the deal. I'm still the champ, and that's the real. Now everybody knows I wanted to fight, but that's all right. That's the way it goes.
We'll have those stories and more next on SportsCenter.